So you're welcome to another section that we just introduced on the AT Library YouTube channel. It's basically going to talk about anything concerning Python programming. And we are going to start from the basic all the way to intermediate, and also you will learn or get to the advanced stage. This is just an introduction to the Python programming language. And in today's edition, we are going to discuss what variables actually is, and also typecasting. So we are doing variables and typecasting. We also demonstrate to you a compiler or an IDE that we will be using, that is the PyCharm, and how you can also download Python actually to start whatever we will be doing. So you're also supposed to practice along as the tutorials is going on. So we start with something. So it's like everyone, Python has become very popular in recent years. And we ask ourselves, why Python? So why learn Python? We are saying that it's because of its simplicity and readability. Also because of its versatility. We are also saying that when it comes to Python, it has a very large and active community. Not only that, we're also saying that Python actually there is also career opportunities when actually you learn Python. Yes, and when you're able to learn Python, you can do something relating to data science, machine learning, web development, system administration. In fact, a whole lot, because many popular platforms and companies such as Google, Instagram, Dropbox, rely heavily on Python. So there is much more career opportunities when you do study Python programming language. Why study Python? Because there is rapid development, actually. So you can build a prototypes quickly, test ideas, and iterate on projects faster than with some other programming languages. All right. And learning Python also can help you in data analysis and also machine learning, because Python has become the go-to language for data analysis and machine learning. It provides powerful libraries like NumPy, Pandas, a whole lot that make it easier to work with data and perform complex analysis. We can also say that additionally, frameworks like TensorFlow, PyTorch are extensively used in the field of deep learning. So it's quite good, yeah, if you learn Python to help you in machine learning. And we also learning Python will also help you in automation and scripting. Actually, when we talk about automation and scripting, we are saying that Python is very excellent actually for automating repetitive tasks and writing scripts. With Python, it can help you streamline processes, manipulate files, perform system administration tasks, and automate various aspects of your work, saving you time and effort. Okay, then we also have community support and also libraries. And when you do study Python, because Python has a vast ecosystem of libraries and models that can be easily integrated into your project. Whether you need to work with APIs, databases, GUI development, or perform specific tasks like web scraping or natural language processing, chances are there already. There's a library available to assist you to do that. So we are saying that Python has a community support and libraries, vast one. All right. So what are we going to treat today? And we are going to discuss variables and also typecasting as we demonstrated earlier on. So basically, we are saying that variables, that is basic to every programming language, because you need to know what variables actually is, and there is variable in every programming language. So we are saying that variables are often described as boxes you can store values in. Okay, now this idea can be helpful for the first few times you use a variable, but it isn't an accurate way to describe how variables are represented internally in Python. So we are saying that when you really want to discuss what variables are, picture the concept or the meaning of variables in this way. We are saying that it's much better to think of variables as labels, yes, that you can assign to values. You can also say that a variable references a certain value. So we would like you to picture what actually variable means with this second point. So we have a typical example over here. We are saying that message, that is the variable. Message is the variable, and that is what we have in there. Hello, Python, crash course reader. So this is what we have. And this is actually being stored in this particular variable. And we can go ahead to print the variable. And printing this is going to show hello Python crash course reader. Okay, so basically that is for the variables. We'll also be discussing what typecasting is. When we talk about typecasting, also known as the type conversion, is a concept in programming that involves changing the data type of a value from one type to another. So a typical example of typecasting includes we have converting from integer to floats, float to integer, string to integer or float, and also converting from integer or float to string, actually. So these are basically some examples of what typecasting, which will be demonstrating some few examples in our tutorial. Now we are saying that typecasting is necessary when we want to perform operations that require matching of compatible data types. For instance, if we have a number stored as a string, we need to convert it to a numerical type, let's say an integer or float, to perform arithmetic operations on it. So basically that is the meaning of what typecasting, okay? All right, so this is just an intro to what we'll be doing today. Let's quickly move on to some demo. All right, so let me just show you what actually, so just get your browser, okay? Then you can just go to Google, you search download Python. So you click on this Python, download Python. So when you click on the first link that you see over here, it brings you to this. So if you're on Windows, I am using the Windows operating system. So you click on downloads, and then you have this, that is a download for Windows, that is Python 3.11.4. That is the current version of Python. So there are several versions. So I think this is the current one. And we have some major new features of the 3.11 series. Actually, we will not go deeper into that. We are interested in downloading Python. Now, when you are done, you will install Python. This tutorial will not cover the installation of the Python. Okay. Now, after everything, you go ahead and download this particular IDE. That is PyCharm. So we are going to use this integrated development environment. It's a software used in the development of what other was software. So we are going to use this for our programming in Python. Okay, so you go ahead and download this particular software. That is the PyCharm. That is the IDE. Install it on your machine and move along with everything that we'll be doing in this tutorial. Okay, all right. So that is our software actually. That is a PyCharm. So I'm going to start with a new project. Then we'll do something with variables, and we'll do something with some print, and we move on to typecasting, and basically that is what we'll be discussing today. And in our subsequent tutorials, we'll still move on from the basic, then we move on to the intermediate, then finally the advanced stage. Okay, all right. So if you want to create a new project, you click on File, we click on New Projects. Okay, now you name your project. So let's say my new project. All right, now you see what we have over here. Create a main.py welcome script. Someone will ask, because you can actually disable this, and then by the moment you see the main.py, it actually means what? Now, in Python, the file name main.py is not a special mandatory name, actually. It is often used as a conversion for the main entry point of a Python program or model. But you should take note of something. Now, when you run a Python program, the interpreter looks for a file specified as the entry point. Yes, so the interpreter actually do look out for a file that serves as an entry point to whatever you are developing. Now, by convention, many developers choose to name this file main.py. Yes, to indicate that it serves as a main starting point of their program. In this tutorial, we are going to keep this checked. Okay, right. Now, the choice of the name main.py is not enforced by the Python language itself, but you can give your main Python file any name you prefer, as long as it has the .py extension, which indicates that it is a Python script. Yes. So using the name main.py can help make the purpose of the file clear, especially in larger projects with multiple models or files. It's also a way to indicate that this is the primary file to execute when starting the program. Okay, so we are just going to keep this one. We are not going to uncheck that. So we move on. So we have my new projects. We go ahead and click on create. Okay. Okay, already I have something like this. Let me say this window. I want everything to look this window. Okay. So yes, have to wait for for some few minutes. So that is it. That is the PyCharm, and it's just taking long, and you just have the exercise patience and okay. So all right, we're almost done. Okay, so the moment this is what you see over here, and actually you can just clear everything that you have over here. So let me clear everything I have over here and start with something. Okay, all right. So this is what we have over here, and in other tutorials we are going to take you through how you can navigate this particular IDE, but for the meantime we just go ahead and start with something. Okay, so let's say we just want to print something to the screen. So we have, let's say, print. We have what is your name? Okay, so all right. Then you see the run. You can click over here, or we have a run also over here. But one thing we would like you to know is that what do you have over here? This is definitely going to print something on the screen. And you can do that with double quotes, or you can do that with what? A single quote. Now you go ahead and run this. Okay, so what is your name? Process finished with exit code 0. That is, we don't have any issue with this particular prompt that we have over here. All right, now let's demonstrate what we call a variable, actually. So with a variable, we do something like the typecasting, then we do the printing with the normal print, and also concatenation, and also using the final one. We are going to use that is the F, what we call as the F string, actually. Okay, so we have a variable over here, let's say age, and let's say I'm dealing with numbers of students, or let's say I'm dealing with age of students. So yeah, so probably I'm dealing with the age of students. So I have age, let's say 20, and there's no need for you to end this particular statement like other programming languages, such as, like, let's say you have this over here. There's no need, actually. And there's no need to also tell us the data type. That is why we are saying that Python is very flexible. So we have something like this. So 20 is being stored in the variable, that is what age. And we can go ahead and do some printing. So we have print. You can go ahead and type. So our first printing, we are saying that, okay, you are, what I have over there is a value, an integer value. And I just want to say you are 20 years of age. Okay. So let's say I go by, okay, so you are, let's try this one because I want to explain something to you. So we are going to introduce what we call the concatenation. That is, you have the plus age, that is a string over here. Then we have the what's plus. Then we have another string. So you are 20 years of age, actually. All right. So you go ahead and just try to execute this. Now look at something. Okay, so we click on run. Okay, so there's an error over here. That is what type error can only concatenate string, not integer to string. So actually what we have over here, they are all what strings. And we cannot do like this, something like this over here. Okay, so we are doing a concatenation is telling us that, okay, what we have over here is actually an integer. And what we are coming to do currently is what we call the typecasting, because can only concatenate string. All right. So this is not a string. This is what? Integer. All right. So we just have to try as much as possible to convert this one into what? A string. And when we convert this one to a string, it means that we can concatenate it. So let's change this format. And how do we do the concatenation? That is with respect to the typecasting. So we introduce what we call the str. That is a string. We have this in brackets. Okay. All right. So that's what we have over here. So actually we are converting this one, the age over here, to string. And then we can go ahead and do the concatenation. So we have some space over here, and it prints the value that is 20. We also have printing the years of age, but we'll print an empty space or a white space over here. Now go ahead and run this program. And what do we see over here? So yeah, so you are 20 years of age, actually. All right, so this is what is termed as the typecasting. Now, from this, what do we have over here? We use a plus sign to join different parts of a sentence together. Yes. And we start with you are, which is part of the sentence. And then we use a plus sign. We use a plus sign to add the person's age. So that is a plus sign we are using to add the person's age, which is the number. But however, you can only concatenate string. That is why we converted the integer to a string. That is what is termed as the typecasting. So when you want to add a number to a sentence, we need to convert it to a string. That is what we've done. So that is why we use the str into bracket age to convert a number to a string. So finally, we have you are 20 years of what? Age. All right. Now you move on to another type for the print. Let's say you want to add multiple arguments, and you can also say that print. So we have our double quotes, and you are. Okay, so we have a comma over here. We have the variable that is what age. We introduce another comma, then. So years of age. All right. So this is also another type. Okay, so you're just going to run this to see the result that we are going to get. You're going to run this again. Okay, so you realize that you are 20 years of age. That is giving us the same response. So this is also another way of you printing strings together with what and together with an integer, right? Okay, so in this case, we still want to show the person's age in the sentence, but instead of using the plus sign to join the parts together, we separate them with what? Comma. Yes, so that's what we did right here. All right. Now, when we ask what is the difference between this and that, the first one, the second one, in summary, we can also say that both lines of the code achieve the same result of showing the person's age in a sentence. But the only difference is how we combine the different parts of the sentence together. The first line uses the plus sign. That's what you are seeing over here. We have the plus sign, and this is what a typecasting. We converted the integer to a string, actually, because if you want to do concatenation, you can only do concatenation with respect to string. Okay, so you have to make sure that you have strings in there before you can concatenate with the plus sign. So the first line uses the plus sign to join the part as a string or as a single string, while the second line separate them with what? Comma. So Python automatically takes care of combining them for us. Now, the last print that we are going to introduce is the one that has the printf, actually. So we have print, the same thing. We have this, we have our double quotes. We introduce f, and the name for this is what we call the f string. We are going to say that when you introduce the f string, is also another way of printing to the screen. When you introduce the f string, you introduce the curly braces. Okay, so we have the curly braces, then you put the variable in there. So using the f string, always take note that you put your curly braces in there. Yes. So we have age over there. Then we add something. Your years of age. Okay, so that's what we have over here. So let's run this and let's see the result that we are going to get. All right, so the same result, you are 20 years of age now. What is the difference between this and that? What do we have over here? That is the f string. With respect to this, we are using something called the f string to create a sentence with a person's age. Okay, it's a special way to combine words and variables together in a sentence. The sentence starts with this. We have the curly braces. It acts as a placeholder to put the value of a variable inside a sentence. In this case, the variable over here is what? Age. It represents the person's what? Age. Yeah. So the F at the beginning of the string tells Python that it is an F string. This means that we can put variables inside curly what? Braces. Yeah, within the string. The moment you introduce this, it means that you can put variables inside what? The curly braces within what? The string. And Python will replace those curly braces with the values of the what? Variables. And that's what we have over there. So if we change the value of age over here, and we run the code again, it's going to definitely give us a value over here because we have age over here and age is also over here. Okay. All right. Now using the F string makes it easier to combine variables with words in a sentence. Yes, using the F string, it allows us to create dynamic sentences where we can change the value of the variable and the sentence will just adjust accordingly. So that is one of the advantage using the F string, because you can combine variables with words in a sentence easy without not necessarily doing concatenation and also doing that of what we call the typecasting. Yes, you realize that the F string, we didn't do anything like that. Yeah, it is neat and convenient way to include variables in what sentences. All right, so this brings us to the end of this particular session or tutorial of Python programming. That is a basic. In our next tutorial, we'll be moving on to data types. integer, Boolean, string, floats. And then we'll be doing some wonderful or pretty stuffs with the Python. So just download your Python, download your PyCharm IDE, and hey, move with us because we are going to code. Okay. All right. So thank you once again for watching this section of Python programming, or this section of the ATU Library tutorial series. Remember to subscribe to this channel to enjoy good things from ATU Library. Thank you.